I want to thank our two readers today, Nick Orso and Lee Parsons, as well as our marvelous CSL music team. We're continuing our journey through Living Untethered, and we concentrate today on part 2, the outside world. And that includes 5 chapters: the moment in front of you, the world you live in, the origin of matter, the power of creation, and it's not personal. In this part of the book, Singer emphasizes the importance of perspective and illuminates the path to inner freedom amidst the complexities of external reality. But first, your question for the week. What is the one choice you can make today to be aware of the holiness of the present moment? To remember, perspective is essential for inner freedom, to know everything is made of light, and to come into harmony with reality. One more time. What is that one choice you can make today to be aware of the holiness of the present moment? To remember, perspective is essential for inner freedom, to know everything is made of light, and to come into harmony with reality. Today, I want to invite you to transcend the limitations of the mind and embrace the boundless freedom that arises from living in alignment with truth and love. And to do that, perspective is essential. As you heard in the reading, our perspective is tied to our 5 senses. What we perceive through our senses is significant to our daily experiences. I know, for example, when I'm sitting and watching a wave at the ocean, I can feel calm and relaxed. And if I were watching a house burn, my entire body would be tense. Singer reminds us, the moment in front of you right now has absolutely nothing to do with you. I had difficulty believing that statement until I realized that Singer's example applied to my perspectives. The waves are there even if I'm not looking at them, and the house burning is not impacting me other than what is coming through my senses. I'd like you to think about a time when you went to an event, like a concert or a show or a wedding, and you had all these expectations about the event. Meanwhile, you bring along a friend who has absolutely no expectations about it. And when the event is over, you listen to your friend talk about how amazing it was. Meanwhile, you're disappointed because many of your expectations didn't get met. It was the same event, and your perspectives on it were very different. In A Course in Miracles text, we learn, perception selects and makes the world you see. It literally picks it out as the mind directs. Singer reminds us of the profound significance of the present moment. By fully embracing the here and now, we awaken to the divine orchestration of life unfolding before us. Imagine what it might be like to just let your mind relax and allow the divine orchestration of life to unfold. Or to just surrender to the flow of existence, embracing each moment as an opportunity for growth and expansion. Living in the moment in front of us, which I call the now, is how we let go of suffering and disappointment and learn to look beyond our current experience. Imagine life if we didn't bring our preferences into the now. Imagine if we could see life as a series of random events, rather perfectly orchestrated flow of energy and information designed to awaken and expand our consciousness. In the second chapter, The World You Live In, Singer expounds on the interconnectedness of all things, and he invites us to recognize the divine intelligence pulsating within each atom and molecule. Some molecules bind together and others do not. And while Singer describes in detail the scientific information related to atoms and molecules, I like his summary. What's in front of you is simply the accumulation of mass amounts of atoms being pulled together by the laws of nature. It's all just science. Nothing is personal. What if we decided to just embrace the world as a manifestation of the divine, honoring its sacredness and its inherent unity? How might that alter your view of life? There was a young man who went to a monastery to speak to the abbot. He was extremely bitter about life. And so he said to the abbot, "I'm disillusioned with my life and I want to attain enlightenment, to be freed from all of this suffering. But I have no capacity for sticking long at anything. I can never do long years of meditation and study and austerity. I just relapse and then I'm drawn back to the world again. Painful though I know it to be. Is there any shortcut for people like me?" The abbot thought for a minute and said, "There is, if you really are determined. Tell me, what have you studied and what have you concentrated on most of your life?" Well, the young man says, "Why, nothing really. I was rich and I didn't have to work. I suppose the thing I was most interested in was chess. I spent most of my time at that." The abbot thought for a moment, and then he said to his attendant, "Call Father John and tell him to bring his chessboard and his pieces." He came with the board, and the abbot set up all the men on the board. Then he sent for a sword and showed it to the two players. "Father John," he said, "you've vowed obedience to me as your abbot, and now I require it of you. You must play a game of chess, and if you lose, I will cut off your head with this sword. But I promise you will be reborn in paradise. And if you win, I shall cut off the head of this young man because chess is the only thing he has ever tried hard at, and if he loses, he deserves to lose his head." They both looked at the abbot in astonishment and realized he truly would cut off the head of the loser. So they began to play. With the opening moves, the youth felt the sweat trickling down to his heels as he played for his life. The chessboard became the whole world. He was entirely concentrated on it. At first, he wasn't winning, but then Father John made an inferior move, and he saw his chance to launch a strong attack. As his opponent's pieces crumbled, he looked at him. He saw the face of intelligence and sincerity, worn with years of austerity and effort. And then he thought of his own worthless life, and a wave of compassion came over him. He deliberately made a blunder and then another one, ruining his position and leaving himself defenseless. The abbot suddenly leaped forward and upset the board. The two contestants were stupefied. "There will be no winner and no loser," said the abbot slowly. "There's no head to fall here. Only two things are required, and you have learned them both. You were completely concentrated on the game, but then in the concentration, you could feel compassion, and you actually were willing to sacrifice your life for it. Now stay here a few months and pursue our training in the Spirit, and your enlightenment is sure. The young man did so, and he got enlightenment. Have you ever heard that you're made of stardust? Singer writes, as amazing as it seems, the elements of this world were forged by the stars. The elements that make up your body are the direct byproducts of what makes the stars shine. We don't really have to catch a falling star and put it in our pocket so that we won't have rainy days. We are already stardust. The stars are the furnaces that have forged the atoms we interact with every day. And as Singer explores the nature of matter and the interconnectedness of all things, he invites us to see beyond the illusion of separation and recognize divine intelligence at work in every atom and in every molecule. By embracing the inherent unity of existence, we can cultivate a profound sense of reverence and awe for the world in which we live. And then the chapter on the power of creation provides even more scientific information, reminding us that every skyscraper, as well as every paper clip, are actually just atoms. Atoms that we didn't create, atoms that were created in the stars. Singer puts it this way: this should serve to humble you and leave you in awe of the power of creation manifesting before you. Let's think of that power of creation that is manifesting as we speak. Know it as a means to assist you on your spiritual journey to liberation and freedom. The last chapter in this section is called It's Not Personal. And it reminded me of that Jim Carrey quote from one of his movies. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Life happens is an idiom that we use to express there are things that we can't control, we can't foresee, we even can't prepare for them. The future is unknown and anything can happen. Sometimes we just need to accept whatever is happening happens without trying to plan for it or change it. It would be great if we could just take each year as it comes and take life as it comes. And yet I think the most important part of that statement is life happens for us. Singer challenges us to release the burden of personal identification and recognize that life unfolds according to its own divine intelligence. Truly, everything is in divine order, and it's unfolding exactly the way it's meant to unfold. In Richer Living, Ernest Holmes, our founding father, wrote this: there's a purpose and a plan in all creation. The divine intelligence has always known what it was doing. If we believe that there is a purpose and a plan in all creation, then in whatever is going on, we can relinquish the need to take things personally. And we can embrace an experience as an opportunity of growth and evolution. As I was reading this section, I was reminded of Don Ruiz's second agreement in his book, The Four Agreements. Don't take anything personally. Ruiz reminds us that by taking things personally, we set ourselves up to suffer for nothing. When we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or what they do. People's actions are a reflection of their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So instead of getting caught up in your own interpretations and assumptions, try curiosity. Try compassion. Be curious as to why they reacted or said the things they did. Be compassionate and recognize they might just be having a bad day. The good news, by not taking things personally, you can free yourself from unnecessarily suffering, stress, anxiety, and conflict. By surrendering to the greater vision of life, we can transcend the limitations of the ego and experience profound freedom and liberation. Ernest Holmes also once said, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." If that is the case, shouldn't we all be looking at what we're thinking and how we're perceiving things? I certainly do not believe that God has imposed suffering on us or on anyone to punish them or to teach them a lesson. I believe in a loving God and truly love these words from Holmes. Each one of us is an outlet to God and an inlet to God. So let us surrender to the greater wisdom of life, trusting in its divine orchestration and embracing each experience as a catalyst for our evolution and growth. And so, in summary, how might you step fully into living untethered while living in the outside world? Well, live in alignment with truth and love. Notice the moment in front of you and be aware of your perceptions. Embrace the world as a manifestation of the divine. Know we are all made of stardust, so give up any thoughts of separation and embrace unity as you know everything is just atoms. And remember, life happens for you. Take life as it comes. It's perfect as is. Know there's a purpose and a plan in all of creation. And most of all, don't take anything personally. So here's your affirmation for the week. How is it I so willingly, effortlessly, and energetically am aware of the holiness of the present moment? Remember, perspective is essential for inner freedom. Know everything is made of light and come into harmony with reality. And your challenge for the week? Make a conscious choice this week to be aware of how you're perceiving things. Is it lovingly? Or are you judging? And see the stardust in others as you encounter strangers or even people that you're disconnected from. And try to notice how life is happening for you. So find a way each day to notice if you're in harmony with reality or if you're living in that illusion of suffering. Let's pray. We take a deep, nourishing breath. And we just know that God is love and joy and laughter and peace and ease and grace and comfort. And knowing that I am one of that one life, I know that I too am joy and comfort and ease and grace. And I know that to be true of everyone on this call and everyone on this planet. So what I know to be the truth today is that we are each noticing the holiness of the present moment. We are each paying attention to our perspectives so that we can have more inner freedom. And we're coming into harmony with reality rather than living in that illusion of suffering. So I'm grateful that we are going forth into this heart gathering with the light of truth, and that our minds are attuned to the rhythm of existence, and spirits are uplifting us into that boundless freedom that arises from living in alignment with our highest self. So knowing that, I am so very grateful. And I release this into that divine yes, knowing it to be the truth. So I say amen, and we can affirm it together. And so it is. And let me thank everyone for their continued contributions. And if this message touched you in a special way, I hope you'll go out to our website or use one of the other methods of donating. Enjoy our offertory song.